Hello, this is Matt Hill, Superintendent of the Burbank Unified School District. I'm here to give an end-of-week update for our first week back this semester. First of all, I want to give out my heartfelt condolences to anybody who's dealing with COVID right now. I wish you and your families a speedy recovery. This pandemic continues to surge, and it's important that all of us in this community take every safety precaution that we can. I know there's a lot of passionate views about what we should be doing to keep our employees and our students safe. It's important for all of us to keep an open mind and hear both sides of how we're approaching this pandemic. I know one thing for sure, and that is all of us want what's best for our students and our employees. We may have different views about how to get there, but if we keep having conversations, we will get there and we'll be stronger together. For this update, I want to talk about a couple key topics that have been emailed to me. And yes, I do read all emails. The volume can be quite overwhelming at times. So sometimes I do a mass update to get back to you. So if I don't respond with an individual email, that does not mean I haven't read your email. So thank you. For this update, I want to talk about 4 key areas: testing, masks, vaccines, and our dashboard metrics. First, with testing. We have expanded our testing clinics. You will see an update about what the times will be for next week as well. So we have testing clinics available to all BUSD employees and students. Next week, we'll be having them at John Burroughs High School and Burbank High School. That's again eligible for, you don't have to go to those schools, all Burbank employees and students. We are going to give priority to BUSD employees so that they get tested in and out of those centers. There'd be also a separate line for students. So please take advantage of those testing centers. They're free, and it gives us that snapshot. Second, we sent home testing kits to all students. Those testing kits were provided by the California state government. They were only designated for students. That's why we opened up the clinic so employees have access to testing as well. When you should have all received those kits or receiving those kits now, students and families. Please make sure you take those kits, take them home. If you have not been tested recently, take the test immediately. There's 2 tests in there. For the second test, you should take that test on Sunday. And do not come to school if it's positive. We want to make sure we stop this spread, and testing is one factor to be able to do that. With the testing kits, I want to highlight, is not the end-all cure. When you take that kit, that's just for that day. You must continue the safety protocols that we have in place by the county health department, because the day before or the day after, you may have been exposed to COVID and the test doesn't show that. So one test, one day a week is not going to stop COVID. That's why we have multiple strategies, but testing is critical. You have information from your school sites about how to upload your results for those testing kits, so please contact them for more information. Second, I want to talk about masks. There's been a lot of different changes on masks, and so I want to be very clear about that. For students, you can still wear the typical masks, so the cloth masks, but that's probably the level 1 level of protection. It's not mandatory to use the next level, the surgical mask. I have a mask here. So students, you can continue to use your cloth mask, but the level that's recommended by health department is the disposable surgical mask. And so it's recommended for students. Please make sure you cover your face and nose. We don't want to see it down here. We don't want to see it here. If you're drinking, take a drink, put it back on. If you're eating, pull it down, take a bite, put it back on. I know students, sometimes that seems silly, but it protects us. Staff must wear at least that level grade mask, the surgical mask. We have also provided staff either KN95s or N95s. So I have a KN95 here. These are provided as well. We will continue to provide shipments to our staff so they have both. They can choose either the surgical mask or the KN95. Students, please come with your mask, but if you forget, we have extras for you as well. We are going to continue to enforce masking policies, and it's critical that we enforce that. It's the safety for all of us. There's been a lot of questions about outdoor masking. That is now a requirement, and we're being enforcing that as well. I know for PE, we continue to work with the health department about what is realistic. We will not be doing rigorous activities wearing a mask outside. The health department said if we can keep good distance, we'll do that. Our PE teachers are working on strategies to make sure that we keep kids safe and healthy, but also make sure they can breathe if they're doing activities. So we'll continue to work with you on that. Third, I want to talk about vaccines. Vaccines are essential. If you have a vaccine, it makes sure that you have protection and immunity. If you get COVID, which we're seeing with the current virus, you have a lesser likelihood of being severely ill. So you're protecting yourself, but you're also protecting others because you're stopping the spread. One key thing to know is now the vaccines have hit 5 or 6 months, you need to get a booster. Boosters are very easy to get right now. You can go to your medical provider, you can go to most pharmacies. We're going to continue other partners to do as well, but please reach out there and get your booster. It's that next level of protection. The nice thing with the boosters, if you're exposed to other people and you're fully vaccinated with a booster, you do not have to quarantine. You can still go to school, you can still go to work. Otherwise, you're going to have to stay home. And if you get sick and exposed, or you're just exposed without that full vaccination, you're staying home for 5 days, and then you have to take a negative test and bring it back to school. It's cumbersome. It's a lot of challenges and hoops, and it distracts us from teaching and learning. So if we're all fully boosted and vaccinated, we can move forward to our teaching and learning. The fourth key area I wanted to highlight was our dashboard on testing and confirmed corona cases. You will find that on our website, and you will see numbers are going up. Now, that's something to be concerned about, but not alarmed about. The key thing we want to make sure is that we are not having spread on campuses. And that's why we have multiple layers. They like to talk about stacking Swiss cheese. You got those holes in those layers, but if you have multiple layers, it gives you greater protection. And that's what we're doing here at Burbank Unified, by having multiple layers of protection. But when you see the numbers go up, we're looking at strategies. If we see a lot of numbers starting to connect to each other at school, we're seeing their spread on campus. That means our measures are not working. Throughout this pandemic, we have seen that cases happen at home or in the community and then are brought to campus. And so we want to make sure that they're not spread on campus. So in conclusion, what that means for me to share with all of you, I take responsibility as well as a parent and a family member in the community. The actions that we do outside of school greatly impact school. We must have the same level of regulations and rules that we're seeing in school, masking, distancing, hand cleaning, when we're home. What we've seen nationwide around the world is people relax when they get home. They have friends over and they don't have the same rigor and standards that we see at schools. People catch COVID and they bring it back in. We all need to be able to follow those guidelines so we can get through this pandemic. So finally, I know these are difficult times. I know we're frightened at times, we're scared, we're frustrated, and that's natural. That's human. But if we work together and we keep having these conversations and we implement best practices that we're getting from the health department, as they learn and they grow from this virus, we will too. But I do believe we will continue to work together and get through this. Thank you all, and be well.